Hey guys. I honestly don't even know where to start or what to say. I so I'm coming back from this walk that I was a part of in the desert, and that abruptly ended, actually. And we only walked for a week. We were supposed to walk for 3 weeks. Um, and a huge part of that completion and ending of that was that climate collapse was happening, and we were infiltrated by smoke and wildfires and storms out of nowhere. Like literally out of nowhere. It was almost like we were in a movie or a written novel or something, because every day was a new disaster, was a new thing. And I'm actually realizing in this moment that that's exactly what's happening in the world, right? Like, in so many ways, there is no escaping what is erupting, what is on fire, what is lightning striking. Like, there is no way to avoid it. There's no way to numb out of it. And being off grid, even for a week, in nature, in the wildness of nature, I mean, the middle of nowhere with other people, we were still feeling what was happening in the world without having knowing of the news, of social media, of text, of anything, of no internet, right? Because every day was another crisis. And every day I had to dig so deep in myself to remain hopeful and remain steady and remain grounded and remain in gratitude for the things that were beautiful, that were working, that were going well about each day. But it was literally a full-time job. And we were put in situations that I imagine and I have a sense of we will be in the next 10 years. This fleeing from place to place to place and being these climate refugees. I don't believe that that's far off. And in fact, I feel like a huge part of my walk, of my journey, of my pilgrimage was to be initiated into this time. There is no, a reality is collapsing. A reality is collapsing. That is what I heard from the water. A reality that you thought once was is disintegrating. And fast. So there isn't this go away and be in a bubble. Go away and be in this focused plan that you had, that you... No, that doesn't exist anymore, right? And this is what I heard again and again and again. The only thing that is constant in each day out in the desert was change. Every moment of every day. And I had great laughter. Not many people were laughing at these things that were happening, but I found the levity. I found the laughter. I also have been, for the last 6 years, asked by Spirit, by my guides, to die so many times and to let go of so many things, people, places I love constantly, and to let what needs to come through. So in some wildly auspicious way that I'm still integrating and still trying to understand, I was taking everything that I had learned in this flow of water, right? Water to me is a being. They are alive. They are a teacher. They are a mentor. I'm listening to them. I go to them. I bathe in them. I get in them. I humble myself to the way that water can take life. It can give life. There's a power here. And from this experience, as I was in the desert, it just became so strikingly clear. No pun intended. We literally had lightning strike right next to us as we were hiking in the woods. And then it set a fire in the forest, and we watched that fire climb up the mountain and ran. Right? Like, these are the sort of things that happened on this journey. And there was a part of it that was thrilling because it felt alive. It felt like we were in what we're actually in at the same time. Do you track me? Like, so oftentimes I'll see someone did this great, if I can find it, I will attach it, but someone did this great Instagram video, or it was TikTok, I'm not sure. Someone did a great video and it was really funny. And they were showing someone and they were saying, this is how it feels like to live in this time and be on social media. And I literally watched it like 5 times. I was dying laughing because they just articulated it so much. So there was this like woman and she's like trying on this makeup and in the back there's war, bombs, fire, disintegration, screaming, yelling. Like there's like this whole kind of green screen behind her or whatever. And she's like, so I just love this lip liner. It's so amazing. I just love this makeup. Here's where you can buy it. Yes, I'm really just loving this. And it's really changing my life. So there was this like interesting conversation, right? Around being on these things, selling these things, doing these things. Meanwhile, the actual lived reality we are in is not that. It is not that, right? There are people dying and starving to death, right? There are people being lynched in Mississippi. Black people being lynched, homeless people being lynched in Mississippi on the same day. We have homeless people being shot at and told to be killed or unalived, I believe was the commentary. And then we're being fed all of these other things from this government that is literally becoming something we have never seen before. And the people who are speaking truth to power are being fucking pulled off their platforms. Right? Jimmy Kimmel was just removed, suspended, whatever you want to call it, because of what he said about Charlie Kirk. This is the kind of world we are living in right now, where your truth is like a weapon, right? And I will tell you, when I saw that Jimmy Kimmel was pulled, I was like, this is about to get insane. Because you know, there's one thing to talk about things that even local news things aren't covering, right? Sometimes you have to freaking dig because it's like, these are happening, but we're focusing on just this US stuff or whatever. Total bullshit. And it's annoying. And when things happen on mainstream television or media, and I know it's sad and I know it's annoying, but this is when shit starts to come down. This is when shit starts to rattle people who normally wouldn't be rattled because they're like, I'm safe. I'm watching my little show and I'm feeling better and it's fine. And then all of a sudden, gone, right? Overnight. Why? Because the Trump administration is threatening to pull all the funding from these huge executives, right? We think about the TV industry. TV industry makes millions of dollars. It's a billion-dollar industry. They do not want to lose their viewers, which are all dollar signs, and they don't want to lose their funding. This is just fact, right? So the fact that he was pulled because he was consistently critiquing Trump, consistently speaking the truth of what Trump was doing, was a huge shift and turning point right now. And it's going to continue to happen. We're going to get siphoned into media that we're going to be force fed that is not the whole picture. That is not the truth. And that's when the brainwashing happens, right? That's when we're all of a sudden thinking, well, maybe I'm not. No, right? Like we got to, this is the stopping point. If someone like him can get pulled for saying what he saw, which his comment was 100% back it up, I would say it myself, was ridiculous. Like it showed a ridiculous reality and truth. And that was exposed and that was real. And those powers that be didn't like it and they destroyed his career. Now, Jimmy Kimmel will be fine. So will, I forget the other guy who was taken off too. And so will all the other guys who are going to get taken off as well. Because I just know it's a matter of time, right? This is all a show. This is all a fear tactic. This is all a scare tactic. This is all to show, see, this is what happens when you speak your truth. But here's the thing. I'm not going to fucking stop speaking my truth. And neither should you. And in fact, if you're scared to speak your truth, I'm going to embolden you to speak more and to speak loudly. This place is not about staying safe. This place isn't about silencing yourself. That's not what living is about. Right? Even the fear of death, of prosecution, we've been through it. If you've lived on earth before, which many of us have, this is not our spirit's first time. We've had many iterations, right? Many iterations of living here and being here. And these iterations don't stop, right? And death is not the end. Death is not the end. So if death is not the end, and what I've seen of the other side is pretty fucking amazing and loving and dreamy and out of this world. There are no verbal words for what I've seen about the other side. Then what are you willing to do while you're still here? What are you willing to say and speak on? I saw this amazing video of this woman who, and I think it's like viral now. I don't know how it started, but she's on a bus. And at first I'm like, why is this white lady yelling? Like, this is annoying. Like, why is she doing this, right? She's on a bus. And what she's doing is using her freedom of speech. She's not saying that, but she's saying that, right? She's speaking, which you're allowed to do. You're allowed to go in places and talk about what's happened. You're allowed to just say how you feel. You cannot get arrested for that. So she's out there, she's speaking these things of truth, and she's saying what's going on. And she's talking about everything in the world right now out loud on the bus. And people are like, no one's saying anything. Some people are laughing. Some people, they're very uncomfortable. And the bus driver's trying to get her off the bus. But when you hear her talk, what she's saying, and then how, the actual reality of what's going on and how we're living, it is not well. It is not well. She goes on to say, how could we go to work? We're all going to work right now, y'all. We're all doing this. Are you kidding me? People are being killed and murdered. There's a genocide. Babies are starving. And she just keeps going on, and she's like, and then we're getting on the bus, and then we're going to work, and then we're going to see this person, and we're just going to ignore them on the street, and we're going to do this, and we're just going to ignore them, and we're going to go and be on our merry way. And, you can tell she's kind of having a break, right? But how could we not be having a break mentally right now? How could we not? How could we not see this illusion that everything's fine when it's not? It's so plain to see and feel. And that was what was so amazing and astounding. Being in that desert in this walk was horrific. It was so difficult and hard. And there were also moments of just such stark clarity. And one of those stark clarities for me was that even if everything shuts down, even if there is no way to know what's happening in the world, we know. We can feel it in our animal bodies. We can feel it in the collective with each other. And we can feel it in nature. Nature is reflecting and responding to what is happening. It's not separate. The wildfires are not separate. The disasters are not separate. The upheaval, we are in relationship with this earth being. And so this being is in relationship with us. In the same way, I think about when Puff was alive, my little bunny. I used to come in and be like, what's his problem? He's so angry today. He's got so much rage. I don't understand. He's so irritated. He wasn't irritated. Puff is Puff. He's an animal. He's connected to the divine most of the time and just loves, right? Just kind of, he was mirroring what I was giving and reflecting that back because he's a living being of the earth. Right? So we're being reflected back by the earth right now. And when I was out there in that desert, I felt all of the grief. I felt all of the pain. I felt all of the suffering. I felt so much of what is harmful in our white supremacist culture happening out there in the desert. Right? I felt the harm that we've done. And the harm we are continuing to do to the earth and to each other. It was like the micro and the macro. It was wild. But I took notes. And I remembered. We have so much choice right now to push back. And I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know what that's going to be on a huge collective level, because we need huge collective level ass energy. All of us. We need all of us. We need all of us right now. We are going back to the antebellum stages right now of slavery. Jim Crow era. That's where Project 2025 is leading us, y'all. It's not a joke. I tried to tell this to my dad, a black man. He didn't believe it. You don't believe it until it rolls out in your backyard. And then you have to see what's there. They think we're dumb and stupid. They think we're not tracking, right? They think we're lost in social media and all the distractions of here. And some of that might be true. I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just saying. There's a manipulation play that's been happening a long time with us humans. People have been pulling the strings, knowing how to distract us. But we're smart. We have instinct and we have ancestors. And we have a divine connection and knowing to the other side. And these people who are trying to manipulate, who are violent, who are killing, who are doing the puppeteering on the, on this whatever explosion of the government right now, they have a soul too. They have a spirit. They just don't remember it. Right? They don't see it, they don't feel it anymore. They're in just the human experience. But that connection hasn't been felt, hasn't been brought back to their body. Right? That disconnection is the scary part. That disconnection. Right? That severing. When we have that severing, we're able to do great harm. When we don't have that empathy, we're able to impact and harm people in a major way. When we start to dehumanize and cleanse the races and get rid of brown and black people, right? Like this is, we know this. This is so old. This is so old. It's so old. Read your history. Read them books. If you don't know the history, you better get on it, because it's leaving trails and clues to right now. And learning what our ancestors did. I don't care who your ancestors were. White, black, brown, somewhere in between, a mix. Find out how they fought back. Find out what they did when they were oppressed. Right? We're going to need everyone. We're going to need everyone's ancestors. We're going to need intergalactic beings right now. They're coming. Thank goodness they're coming. We going to need them. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look at the news. They're not, this whole thing is distracting from the fact that a literal ship is coming to Earth. I kid you not. I can't make this stuff up. This is wild. These are wild, wild times, right? And there are still reasons to be hopeful. Trust me, I'm with you. I spent a week crying. I spent a week being depressed. I spent a week just feeling like, well, what is this? I'm going to leave my house and get lynched? Or I'm going to leave my house and have a hate crime because I look like a boy and they can't quite figure out who or what I am? Why even be here? You know, that was my thought. Why even be here? What is this work that I do? Does it even matter in this time? And here is what I heard, right? My ancestors let me go down the dark void a little bit before yanking me back. And I'm really grateful for that. They're like, okay. We love your dark scorpionic voids. We're going to pull you back though. Because what's important is that when I was on this walk, I noticed something, right? And it wasn't a judgment. It wasn't a critique. It wasn't a whatever. It was a noticing of something that's really important that was trying to come through. There was this energy of disconnection from the body and disconnection from feeling and spirit. And it really surprised me. But as I looked around, the majority of the people that I was with were white. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love white people. Like, I have a white mother, right? But there was something missing. Something being shoved down, something being suppressed. So much so that I started to not even feel spirit. And y'all know me, I'm feeling spirit everywhere. Like, I'm feeling spirit everywhere. I'm like, everything's talking. I feel like, I just feel it. It literally fills me up. And I couldn't feel it. I couldn't access it. I couldn't get to it. And every time I tried to use my voice and speak up and say, hey, maybe we should tune into it was shut down. right? And well-intentioned, not meanly, but just something would come in and oh, we don't have time for that. We got to keep going. And there was this urgency, right? This urgency, and all these things that were playing out are actually playing out in the collective. And I just cried a lot of the time because I could feel the ache, not only for me, of wanting to feel and wanting to connect with the ancestors and the divine, especially in climate collapse, but all the ache that I felt from all of them. They also wanted to feel, wanted to connect. But there was this pattern of whiteness that just kept playing out again and again and again. And I couldn't disrupt it. I couldn't disrupt it. Right? So I quieted down. But when I quieted down, things got real hard because I personally couldn't feel the bigness of spirit. And so I started to see the emptiness, the loneliness, the hopelessness of the situations we were in each day. I say this to say that, again, there wasn't any judgment. It was this beautiful learning of this is what's missing. This is what's missing, this slowing down, this feeling together in our bodies, in our hearts, right? And this connecting with our ancestors, with spirit, with the divine, whatever you want to call it. The bigness that exists beyond the situation that we're in. That is not happening on a collective level. It is happening individually and in pods and groups, but collectively, we're not seeing this on the news. We're not hearing these stories. It doesn't mean they're not happening, but they're not even focusing on them, right? And so my question that I'm walking with, that I'm holding still, is what would it be like to truly envision a reality, right? A future, a near future where we can slow down. Like our movements look like this and feel like this and are this everywhere. And this is televised everywhere. Or we can slow down. We can feel, we can sing, we can dance, and we can call in spirit together. We can call in ancestors, guides, intergalactic beings. Guys, the fact that the government is now like, oh, these beings might be, they're real. Yes, they are real. Yeah, okay, well, so they know the power of these technologies and these beings. They've known it for a very long time in secrecy and in secret off programs. This is not new. This is not new. It's going to come out more and more and more as we go along in this dumpster fire, like it's going to keep coming out. So they know the power of us reconnecting and remembering. They've known it for a very long time, right? So I offer you that. What's going to be your part in this new vision? Not 10 years from now, not 20 years from now, today. Today. Maybe it's speaking the truth, saying how you really feel, feeling in your body, especially if you're a white person, right? Slow down, feel, right? Dance, sing, connect to spirit. And if you're like, I don't know how to connect, find how to connect. Your people at one point connected. They were connected. That connection was removed and the systems came in. And then it was like robots, right? That's when marriage comes in. That's when man, woman, married, kids, house, blah, 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 the Industrial Revolution, like all these things came in, right? And that was ripped. I mean, look at the Salem witch trials. There's a whole history, y'all. Y'all have a history. You have so many different histories of this being removed. Come back to it. Find your way back. Feel it. Know it. Know it in every fiber of your body. Right? Trust it. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust what you feel that you can't always see. These are the tools of our time. This is what I learned in the desert. This is what I'm trying to integrate right now. This is what we need. Because we can't just do it alone. That's not an option. And we can't do it with some people. We need as many of us as possible. And that also means there has to be healing, deep, deep healing with white people, deep healing with people of color. There has to be. So we can unite, all of us from all different backgrounds. And not recreate what we're seeing recreated every day. Right? I just want to be clear too. I never condone violence. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Never is murder. I've channeled enough murders and seen things in my mind I never want to see again. Right? I do not think killing and violence at any place is okay. Right? And I also want to say that what happened to Charlie Kirk, I am not surprised about. I knew a little bit about him. I read up more and watched videos, and I did not want to take any more of that energy in my body. The amount of hate and racism and violence in his speech and his words, and manipulation that he did when he spoke to people of color. I do not feel feelings for him. I do not feel anything. When you speak like that so violently and pro-hate, what do you expect is going to happen? And yeah, I also just have to say that the fact that it's being pinned on people of color now, and people are coming after us. When Charlie was killed by a white conservative man, boy, who comes from a MAGA family. What the fuck, y'all? What the fuck? This is crazy. If this isn't making you crazy right now, you're not awake. You're not awake. This is insanity. The news is trying to blame and attack people of color for this. We weren't even involved. We weren't even involved. This just shows you the times we're in. This just shows you the times we're in. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. That's it. That's all I have to say. You know, I'm just trying to really be here as long as I can be here, to be honest, and to speak the truth to power and to keep speaking that truth to power and to liberation. Nothing is more important right now. There is no staying silent right now. Please don't stay silent. Please speak up and say something and keep doing it, right? And have someone hold you accountable in that speaking up. Feeling the guides, feeling the energy, feeling protected. Sending that protection to you all right now. And sending you my love, my care. I'll see you all soon.